It was just another Monday, April 14th, 2025. Clear blue skies over San Diego, coffee shops buzzing, school buses on the road, people scrolling their phones, stuck in morning traffic. The kind of day that makes you feel like nothing big is gonna happen. Just a regular morning, until it wasn't. At exactly 10:08 a.m., everything changed. The ground didn't just rumble, it jolted. A sharp, violent movement that caught millions of people completely off guard. Windows shook, shelves rattled. And within seconds, all across Southern California, and even parts of Mexico, people felt it. A 5.2 magnitude earthquake had struck.
That's earthquake.
The epicenter? Just a couple miles south of Julian, a quiet mountain town east of San Diego that's usually known for its pies and peaceful streets, not seismic chaos. This wasn't a small tremor that people ignore and laugh off. This hit different.
Incredible video
Within
as
moments,
African
texts
elephants
flooded
at the
in.
San Diego Zoo
Social
and
media
Safari Park
exploded.
react to the
People were calling loved
5.2
ones,
magnitude
checking
quake
on family,
that shook
trying to make
San
sense
Diego
of what
County
just
and
happened.
beyond. The
Buildings
elephants rushed to
swayed,
form an
dogs
alert
barked
circle,
non-stop,
protecting
and car
the young
alarms
and
went
the
off
herd
like some
from
kind of
threats.
warning siren
Zoo
for the
officials tell
apocalypse.
us they went back
Even
to
before
normal
the
after about
aftershocks hit,
4 minutes,
people
though they
knew
did stay
this
close to
wasn't
one
going to be
another.
one of those "did you
Instincts
feel it"
kicked
kind of
in for
earthquakes.
domesticated animals
This
too.
one left an impression. But here's where it gets even more intense. According to top seismologist Dr. Lucy Jones, this wasn't just a random earthquake. It was likely triggered by movement along the Elsinore Fault, one of the lesser known, but extremely dangerous branches of the famous San Andreas Fault system.
And a
just to make it more
confused cat in El
nerve-wracking,
Cajon
the day
listened
before,
to the
on Sunday,
chimes ring
there was a
as
smaller
the room shook.
3.3 quake in the
my
same
gosh.
area. At the time, it felt like nothing major, just a
That's
bump in the
earthquake.
earth. But Dr. Jones
It sure
confirmed
is,
what
and
no
there
one
were
wanted
two
to hear.
significant
That
aftershocks on the
3.3
Elsinore
quake,
Fault,
it was a
what
foreshock,
Dr. Lucy Jones
a warning
calls
shot,
a sister
a
to
sign
the
that
San
something
Andreas.
bigger was coming. And you missed it. It's the kind of detail that hits hard after the fact, like realizing the smoke alarm went off.
In Lakeside,
before the
eastern
fire
San Diego
started.
County, an
Now picture
excellent
this.
example
Within
of
just
what
minutes
to do.
of that initial
Drop, cover,
5.2
and
quake,
hold.
9
The shaking was
aftershocks
felt
followed.
inland
Bang,
and seaside.
bang, bang.
Tom Ham's lighthouse
Each one
on San
hitting
Diego
like a
Bay
reminder that
shook,
the Earth
caught
wasn't
on camera
done yet.
from the San Diego
People
webcam.
were still trying to catch their breath when the next ones
epicenter was
rolled in.
recorded
Small, but
2.49 miles
terrifying,
south of Julian
because you never
in San
know
Diego
if they're just
County.
tremors
No
or
major
the
damage
beginning
has
of
been
something
reported
worse.
thus far.
And here's what makes
According to
this
the U.S.
all the
Geological
more
Survey
real.
map, the
This
quake
wasn't
was
just
felt
shaking
widely
dirt in
across
some
southern
remote
California
hillside.
and into Mexico.
This was felt across the
Seismologists say this
entire
quake is likely
region,
associated with the
from San
Elsinore
Diego to
Fault,
Carlsbad,
which is a branch of the
Escondido,
larger San
even as
Andreas
far as
fault
Mexico.
system.
Diego
The ground
County.
was alive
That quake
and everyone
centered
felt
near the
it.
mountain town of Julian,
In Julian,
but it was felt
chaos
as far north
unfolded
as Los
fast.
Angeles County.
People poured out
Animals
onto Main
definitely
Street,
felt it,
calling
including
for
a
each
group
other,
of
trying to get
elephants
cell
at the
signals.
San Diego
Robin
Zoo.
Boland from the
They
Julian
first
Chamber of
ran,
Commerce
but then
described
came
the scene.
back and clustered
Everybody
together.
ran
No
outside.
injuries or
All the car
significant
alarms were
damage
going off.
being
People were
reported.
yelling, looking
Evacuate.
around. It
You're
felt
looking
like it
at
lasted
footage
forever.
right now of those
Can you imagine
construction
that?
workers filling the
Standing
street
in a
after the
quiet
earthquake. They
little
were
town
ordered to
surrounded by
evacuate all out of a
mountains, and suddenly the
precaution
earth
to make sure
itself
that the
sounds like it's
structure was
cracking
still
beneath your
stable,
feet.
and also
And this
just
is
to make
only
sure
part
that
of the
nothing was
story.
going to fall on
Because
those
what people
workers if they
didn't
were to
know at that
remain
moment was how
inside.
personal this quake
making
would
sure
become. The damage, the fear, the heartbreaking stories of people who truly believed the ground beneath them was about to give way. Stay tuned. In part 2, we go deeper. You'll hear what really happened inside homes, stores, and businesses as people screamed, ran barefoot, and watched their ceilings crack open. This wasn't just a geological event. It was an emotional one. Part 2 is coming up. And trust me, you don't want to miss what happens next. The earthquake hits home. Stories of panic and survival. If you're just tuning in, part 1 of this story gave you the shocking details of the 5.2 magnitude earthquake that struck near Julian, near San Diego, on the morning of April 14th, 2025. That violent jolt caught everyone off guard. But now let's dive deeper into what happened after the shaking. The chaos that followed.
Incredible
the panic,
video as
the fear,
African
and the
elephants at the
stories
San
from
Diego Zoo
inside
and
homes
Safari
and
Park
businesses that were
react to the
rocked by this
5.2
quake.
magnitude quake
When you feel
that
an
shook
earthquake
San
like
Diego
this,
County and beyond.
you don't know what's
the
coming
elephants
next.
rushed to form
Your heart
an alert
races,
circle,
your instincts take
protecting
over,
the young
and your
the
mind
herd
goes
from
into
threats.
survival mode.
Zoo officials tell us
In
they went back
Carlsbad,
to
Caroline
normal after
described
about
what
4
happened as
minutes,
the quake
though
hit.
they did stay
We
close
felt a
to
very
one another.
violent jolt.
Instincts
It lasted
kicked
about 10
in
seconds,
for
and our
domesticated
whole
animals
building
too.
was swaying. She said this was the biggest earthquake she had ever felt in her life. Dylan Carniero, working inside Mountain Spirits Liquor in Julian, felt it too. Dylan had been getting ready to use the restroom when the ground beneath him suddenly moved. The shaking was so intense, he heard bottles falling off the shelves.
And a
loud
confused
crashes,
cat
one
in El
after
Cajon
another.
listened to the
store,
chimes
a
ring
small
as the
business,
room shook.
was wrecked by
Oh my
falling
gosh.
bottles, some even breaking upon impact. I
That's
heard 3
earthquake.
to 4 bursts.
It sure
Pops
is,
from
and there
different
were 2
bottles breaking,
significant
he said,
aftershocks on the
describing
Elsinore
the
fault,
moment when
what
everything
Dr.
around him
Lucy
seemed to
Jones
fall
calls
apart.
a sister
In that
to the San
instant,
Andreas.
his sense of safety disappeared. Imagine standing there knowing there's nothing you can do to stop it. It's not just an inconvenience, it's real destruction.
In Lakeside, Eastern
And
San
it was
Diego
happening
County,
to him,
an
his
excellent
store,
example
his
of what to
livelihood.
do. Drop,
But
cover,
what about
and hold.
homeowners?
The shaking
What happened
was
when the
felt
quake hit
inland
inside
and
their own
seaside.
houses?
Tom
Take
Ham's
Ashley
Lighthouse
Pinnock
on
from
San Diego
Ramona, for
Bay
example.
shook,
She was
caught
home
on
when the
camera
quake
from the
rattled
San
her
Diego
house to its
webcam.
core. It
The
felt like my
epicenter
entire
was
roof was going
recorded
to collapse.
2.49
She recalled.
miles south of Julian
The
in San
ceiling
Diego
cracked right
County.
above her.
No major
A
damage has been
terrifying
reported
sound
thus
that made her heart
far.
stop.
According to the U.S. Geological
I
Survey
started hearing
map, the
something
quake was
cracking.
felt
That's when I
widely
screamed for
across
everyone to
southern
get out.
California
I was
and into
terrified.
Mexico.
This is the reality
Seismologists say
many
this quake
people
is likely
faced.
associated with
No
the
warning,
Elsinore
just
Fault,
panic.
which is a branch
Ashley's
of the larger
experience
San
was shared
Andreas
by
fault
so
system.
many that day.
Diego County.
The quake
that
didn't
quake centered near the
just
mountain
shake
town
homes.
of Julian, but it was
It
felt
shattered that
as far
feeling
north
of
as Los
security that
Angeles
we all
County.
take for granted.
Animals definitely
Your
felt
house,
it, including a
the
group
one
of
place where you're supposed
elephants
to
at
feel
the San
safe,
Diego
becomes a
Zoo.
ticking time
They first
bomb as it
ran, but
cracks
then
and
came
creaks under
back
the
and
pressure of the
clustered
earth
together.
moving beneath.
No injuries
It.
or significant
But what
damage
happens when your
is being
instinct tells you to
reported.
run?
Evacuate.
Linda
You're looking
Rangel,
at footage
working
right
from
now
her home
of
in
those construction
Escondido,
workers
did
filling the
exactly
street
that.
after the earthquake.
My
They were
instinct
ordered
was
to
to leave the
evacuate all
building,
out of a
she said.
precaution to make sure
No
that the
second
structure
guessing,
was still
no
stable,
hesitation.
and also just to
Just
make sure
pure
that nothing was
survival
going to
instinct.
fall on those workers
I didn't
if
have
they were
shoes
to
on.
remain
I left my phone
inside,
behind.
making
I just
sure
ran
nothing
outside. Can you picture it? In the middle of the chaos, Linda didn't even think about grabbing her phone. In that moment, her only priority was getting out alive. It's a chilling reminder of how quickly a disaster can make everything else feel insignificant. Yet despite the horror and the destruction people saw around them, there's something incredible happening right alongside it. People helping people. Across Julian, Carlsbad, Ramona, and other affected areas, strangers became lifelines. Neighbors checking on neighbors, offering water, making sure everyone was okay. Robin Boland from Julian said, "It's amazing how quickly everyone came together. This wasn't just a disaster, it was also a moment where communities were reminded of what it means to be human. In the face of fear, there was compassion. And that's what makes these stories so powerful. But here's the kicker. Despite all the panic, the shaking, the cracked ceilings and falling bottles, the damage wasn't as bad as it could have been. In fact,
Incredible
San Diego
video
Mayor
as
Todd
African
Gloria
elephants at
confirmed
the San
that
Diego Zoo
there's
and
no
Safari
known
Park
visible or major
react to the
damage to the city so
5.2
far.
magnitude quake
No major
that shook
injuries,
San
no
Diego
widespread
County and
structural
beyond.
collapse.
The
This
elephants
is huge,
rushed to form an
especially
alert
when you
circle,
consider how powerful
protecting
this
the young
earthquake
and the
was.
herd from
But don't
threats.
think for a second that we
Zoo
were out of the
officials
woods.
tell us they went
This
back
quake
to
was only
normal after about
5.2.
4 minutes,
It could have been far
though they
worse,
did stay
much
close to
worse.
one another.
Remember,
Instincts kicked in for
California is sitting
domesticated
right on
animals
top of
too.
some of the most dangerous fault lines in the world. The San Andreas, the Elsinore Fault, the Rose Canyon Fault. They're all ticking time bombs. And next time, it might not be a small earthquake like this one. So what does that mean for us? For you? In the next section, we'll dive into what
and a
experts
confused cat
are
in
saying
El
about
Cajon
California's
listened to the
earthquake future.
chimes ring as
What
the
do we
room
need to know?
shook.
Oh
How can
my
we
gosh.
prepare? And why should this moment, this very
That's
quake,
earthquake.
be the warning we
It
didn't
sure
want
is,
but
and there were
desperately
2
needed?
significant
But
aftershocks
for
on the
now,
Elsinore Fault,
let's
what
just
Dr.
take a
Lucy
second to
Jones
think
calls
about this.
a sister to
If
the
it had
San
been
Andreas.
a bigger quake, if it had hit harder, would we have been ready, preparing for the big one? What comes after the shaking?
In Lakeside,
So,
Eastern San Diego
we've
County,
taken you through
an
the
excellent
chaos
example of
April
what to
14th,
do. Drop,
2025,
cover, and hold.
a 5.2
the shaking
magnitude
was felt
earthquake
inland
that rattled
and
San
seaside.
Diego,
Tom
leaving the
Ham's
ground
Lighthouse
shaking,
on San Diego
people
Bay
panicking, and
shook,
homes
caught
cracked
on
wide
camera
open.
from the San Diego
But that's
webcam.
not the end of the story. No,
The
in fact, it's
epicenter
only
was
the beginning of a much
recorded
bigger conversation.
2.49 miles
One that
south
we all
of
need to
Julian
have
in
right
San
now,
Diego County.
because as powerful
No
as this
major damage
earthquake
has been
was,
reported
it was just
thus
a wake-up
far.
call.
According to the U.S.
Experts
Geological
have been
Survey
sounding
map,
the
the
alarm
quake
for
was
years,
felt widely
warning
across
us
Southern
that a
California
much
and
stronger
into
earthquake
Mexico.
could hit at any moment.
Seismologists say this quake is
California
likely
sits right on
associated
top
with
of
the
seismic
Elsinore
time
Fault,
bombs.
which is
We're
a branch
talking about
of the
faults like
larger
the San
Andreas
Andreas
fault
and
system.
Elsinore,
Diego
which have
County.
caused massive,
That quake centered near the
catastrophic
mountain
quakes
town
in the
of
past,
Julian, but it was
and
felt
could again.
as far north as Los
And
Angeles
so,
County.
the big question
Animals
is,
definitely
Are we
felt
ready?
it, including a group
When
of
that quake hit,
elephants at
people
the
in
San
Carlsbad,
Diego Zoo.
Julian,
They first
Escondido,
ran, but then came
and
back
beyond
clustered
did what they
together.
could to survive.
No injuries or
But
significant
were they
damage
prepared?
is being
Were you
reported.
prepared?
Evacuate. You're
Let's
looking
be
at
honest.
footage right now of
Earthquakes
those
don't give us a
construction
lot of
workers
warning.
filling the street
This one
after
was
the
just the
earthquake.
beginning of a
They were
series
ordered
of
to evacuate
aftershocks
all
that
out of a
rattled people
precaution to
even
make sure
more.
that the structure was still
And if
stable,
we're not prepared
and also
for what
just to make
comes
sure that
next,
nothing was
the
going to
consequences
fall on
could be
those workers
devastating.
if they were to remain
Here's what you need to know and how to prepare
making
before
sure
the next quake shakes your world. Know the fault lines. It's no secret that Southern California sits along a major fault zone. The San Andreas Fault is one of the most infamous, but the Elsinore Fault that caused this earthquake is no slouch either. That means, even though we just had a 5.2 magnitude quake, there's a very real possibility that something much stronger could follow, sooner than we think. Earthquake kits are crucial. What happens when the shaking stops? If the damage is bad, you could be left without power, clean water, or food. An earthquake kit is a must-have. You need to have non-perishable food, water, flashlights, first aid supplies, and tools to get you through those critical first hours or even days if help is delayed. 3. Secure your home. Did you know that simple steps like securing bookshelves, attaching heavy objects to walls, and checking gas lines can
Incredible
make all the
video
difference?
as African
In a big
elephants
quake,
at the San Diego
these
Zoo
small
and Safari
actions can
Park
prevent
react to the
life-threatening injuries
5.2
and
magnitude
property
quake
damage.
that shook San Diego
Practice
County and
emergency
beyond.
drills.
The
Just like
elephants
fire
rushed
drills,
to form
you need
an
to
alert
practice earthquake
circle,
drills.
protecting
Drop,
the young and
cover,
the herd
and
from
hold on
threats.
is the
Zoo
technique that
officials
could
tell
save
us
your
they
life.
went back to normal
You need to
after
teach
about
your
4
family and
minutes,
loved ones
though they
how to
did stay
respond,
close to one
where
another.
to go, and what to
Instincts
do
kicked
when the
in for
shaking
domesticated
starts.
animals too.
It's not just about the first moments of the quake, but how to stay calm and stay alive through the chaos. Stay informed and connected. We live in a world where communication is everything. Make sure your phone is always charged and sign up for emergency alerts from your local government or
And
the
a
U.S.
confused
Geological
cat in
Survey.
El Cajon
If there's an
listened to the
earthquake,
chimes
you'll want to
ring
know
as
what's
the
going on
room
around
shook.
you. Getting real-time
gosh.
updates could make the difference between survival and
That's
disaster.
earthquake.
Now let's
It
talk
sure
about the
is,
mental
and there were
side
two
of preparing
significant
for an earthquake.
aftershocks on the
It's
Elsinore
not just about
Fault,
stockpiling
what Dr. Lucy
supplies or
Jones
securing
calls
your home.
a sister
It's
to
about
the San
being mentally
Andreas.
prepared for what comes after the shaking stops. Because let's face it, the reality of a major earthquake isn't just physical destruction. It's emotional
In Lakeside,
turmoil.
eastern San Diego
There's
County,
the shock,
an
the
excellent
anxiety,
example of
the
what to
fear
do. Drop,
of not
cover,
knowing if your
and
loved
hold.
ones are safe.
The shaking was felt
panic,
inland
the
and
stress
seaside.
that comes with knowing
Tom
that
Ham's
everything could
lighthouse on
change
San
in an
Diego Bay
instant.
shook,
But here's
caught
the
on
thing.
camera from the San Diego
You don't
webcam.
have to be helpless.
The epicenter
San Diego
was recorded
earthquake was a wake-up call,
2.49
but
miles
it
south of Julian
doesn't have to
in
be
San
the thing
Diego
that takes
County.
you by surprise
No
next
major
time.
damage has been
We
reported
can't control
thus
when
far.
or where the
According
next
to the U.S.
earthquake will
Geological
hit.
Survey map,
But we
the
can
quake was
control
felt
how we
widely
prepare,
across southern
how we stay
California
calm in
and
the
into
moment,
Mexico.
and how we rebuild.
Seismologists say this quake is likely
As
associated
much as the
with
ground
the
shaking
Elsinore
under your
Fault,
feet is out of
which
your
is a
control,
branch of the
the
larger
way you
San
react
Andreas
to
fault
it.
system.
That's on you
County.
and the people of
Earthquake
San
centered
Diego,
near the mountain
Julian,
town
and
of
beyond.
Julian, but it was felt
They
as
reacted.
far north as Los Angeles
They helped
County.
each other.
Animals
They came
definitely
together
felt
in a
it,
way
including
that
a
shows
group
how
of
powerful
elephants
community
at
can
the
be
San
when
Diego
everything else
Zoo.
falls apart.
They first ran, but then
It's a lesson
came
that we
back
all
and
need to carry
clustered
with us,
together.
because
No
when that
injuries
big
or
one finally
significant
hits,
damage is
it'll be
being
our
reported.
collective
To
strength that
evacuate.
gets us
You're
through.
looking at footage right
So,
now of those
as we wrap
construction
up this
workers filling the
incredible
street
journey
after
from
the
the moment the
earthquake.
earth
They were
shook
ordered to
to the
evacuate
lessons
all
we
out of a
need to
precaution
take
to
into
make
the
sure that the
future. I
structure
want you to
was
think
still
about
stable,
something. What
and
will you
also
do
just
when
to
the
make
next
sure that
earthquake
nothing was
hits?
going to
Will you
fall
be
on those
prepared?
workers if they were
Will
to
you know
remain
what to do?
inside.
And will you be
making
there
sure
for others when everything starts shaking
The
again?
epicenter was
Stay
recorded
safe.
2.49
Stay
miles
prepared.
south of Julian
And
in
keep
San
your
Diego
community
County.
strong.
No major damage
Because
has
next
been
time,
reported thus far.
it could be your
According
turn to
the
step up and help
Geological Survey
others.
map, the quake was
Thank
felt
you for
widely
watching.
across southern
Don't forget to
California
like,
and
subscribe,
into
and stay
Mexico.
tuned for more
Seismologists
updates
say
on
this quake is
earthquakes,
likely
disaster
associated with the
preparedness, and
Elsinore
survival
Fault,
tips.
which
Stay
is a
safe
branch
out
of the
there.
larger